Hey y'all, what's up? It's your boy Blair and Momentum. Alright, if you're new, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. So every time I put out a video, you'll be notified. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers too. Alright, I haven't put out a video in about maybe 4 to 5 months, because I've been busy. Plus I haven't really had an interest to put out a video in a while. I kind of lost interest, but I've been looking at the way people run their businesses, in the context of flipping medical commodities, all right? So, and it made me think to myself, about the two different types of business models. One business model is called the cash broke system. The other business model is called the cash flow system. All right? So now, I'm going to explain to you the cash broke system. The cash broke system is like this. First of all, when you first get started, you'll basically take anything you can get. We've all been there. I have to. And the average person out here don't have a lot of money to start off with. They don't. They don't have a lot of money at all. So, and that's fine. That's fine. But now, here we go. What happens is that they build the clientele. And when they're building the clientele and they're scaling the company, what happens is that it gets to the point where they have to move stuff as fast as they get it in, because it comes to a point where they have more clientele than their buyers are able to pay them. Again, it comes to a point where people with this business model, they have more clients and more demand than what the speed in which their buyers are paying out. So as soon as they get something, it has to go out fast. Sometimes this can be after they've gone full time with it, but most of the time it starts off when they already have a job, because they don't want to intermingle the two. Well, you have to when you first start, because your business model money, it does come from your job. It's just a fact. But what happens is that, and this is horrible, what they'll do is it'll get so bad that the money that they have from their job will go into their business. This is actually after, I can't say that they're established, but after they've got about 25, maybe 30 clients. Okay? And it's horrible, because now it may get into bill money or whatever type of money that is going into, maybe snacks or whatever, cigarettes or whatever. And it gets worse if you were to start hiring VAs or like couriers or something like that, different kinds of employees. Now, now, not only do you have to pay your clients fast, but now you have to pay your employees fast. Okay? And you end up getting so tight that if prices shoot down or up, I mean, let's say down, actually down. When they shoot down, you're basically effed up. You know, and I'll go into that in another video. Now that's the cash broke model. Now the cash flow model is like this. When you start this kind of model, take 25% of every transaction that you have, every business transaction that you have, and put it into a separate bank account. And don't touch it for about 6 months. For about 6 months. Now, you don't have to scale as fast, you know, in this model. You know, you actually don't have to scale as fast in the other model either. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to supplement your job, you know, your wages on your job, it just depends on what you want to do. But on this model, that 25% of everything that you make, you know, as far as invoices, you can either do it in invoices or per transaction, per client. It's up to you, however you want to do it. But what you're doing is that you're giving yourself a cushion. Okay, you're giving yourself a cushion. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as you build your clientele, you want to get used to holding products. No, you don't want to hold them too long. Okay, because every product has a different expiration date. You see what I'm saying? Every model, every product has a different expiration date. So now, but you're using it as a cushion, so you're able to hold stuff, so you don't have to move stuff as fast. You're not as tight on cash. Now, you have to be disciplined in this. You can't be spending that money on bullshit. You know, put that money back into your business. That 25% goes into, probably try to put into a high yield savings account. So you're beating inflation. So now, when you get to the point where you have a lot of clients, you're not under the pressure that you would be of having to move that shit as quick as you can. You have a cushion because of the 25% that you've been putting up for 6 months. You see what I'm saying? So, basically, those are the types of business models. And I'm going to tell you something. Again, the more money you make and the more employees you hire with the first model, the cash broke model, you're going to catch hell. Because what happens is that as soon as there's a mix-up, you may send your product to the wrong wholesaler. You may have invoiced wrong. You may have gauged the deans and damages wrong. You know, you may have done a lot of shit wrong. And that's real talk. You know, that's real talk. Yeah, you know, and You're so used to the system that you set up in terms of the speed in which you invoice at whatever cash amount you decide to invoice at. It fluctuates. Everybody is different. You know, it's relative. So the thing is that, you know, that first model is jacked. It's jacked. I've been there. But now, you know, I can hold stuff, you know, because I have a reserve. I have a cash reserve. And plus, I've been doing this for 7 years. So I'm established, you know, but I've been through my bumps and my bruises. You know, I've been there where you have to tell clients that you don't have the money right now, that you're waiting to get paid. But see, the thing is that this is another thing that you run into with the first business model, is that depending on what kind of client you have, you may lose those clients. You know, I have a video that I made a long time ago, years ago, about the highest paid and the quickest to respond are the people who win. And it's the truth. Because this is what you have to understand about these clients. A lot of your clients are broke, flat, poverty stricken. And they're looking at this shit. They're looking at their products coming in every month, or every 3 months as checks. Almost like SSI. You know what I'm saying? Like welfare checks or something like that. Or like food stamps. So they depend on that. So in the long run, with the first business model, you run the risk of losing the clients. As opposed to the second business model, you don't. Because why? You have a cash reserve. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to leave it here. My name is Blair. And remember, you can't gain momentum without traction. Alright? You can't gain momentum without traction. And my name is Blair. I want to thank everybody for watching. And on that note, peace.